On Friday, March 31st, a 5-lane section of Interstate I-85 collapsed during rush hour in the heart of Atlanta after a massive fire broke out underneath the roadway. And yet, miraculously, no lives were lost. How'd that happen? Well, in short, quick reactions by firefighters, astute appraisal of what the fire might do, and the luck of a fire station being near the source of the blaze. The fire began just after 6 p.m. on a part of I-85 near Piedmont Road, right over there. Less than an hour later, the blaze caused an elevated section of the northbound interstate to collapse. Firefighters arrived quickly and stopped traffic on I-85, sensing that a section of it would collapse. That decision alone saved a number of lives. 6:12, first report of a fire near I-85 north of downtown. 6:20, first fire crews arrive on the scene and make the crucial decision to pull the responder units back. 6:45, law enforcement officials begin advising drivers to turn around. 7 o'clock, large plumes of smoke can be seen for miles. You could clearly see it from here. 7:05, a section of interstate collapses, sending a massive chunk of concrete hurtling to the street below. 7:45, trucks from Hartsfield-Jackson Airport arrive on the scene with foam to dampen the flames. The wall of fire reached up to 40 feet high at times, causing power lines to fall into the street. However, people were driving by, not paying attention, even taking pictures with their cameras, their cell phones. Firefighters also halted pedestrian traffic below and near the bridge. More than 220,000 cars are estimated to drive that stretch of 85 every day, one of the major north-south arteries in the Southeast. Honorees, would you please come forward?
Ladies first, right? Good evening. Please stand if you were not affected by the I-85 bridge burning. We have one, we have two, and you're a winner. Thank you so much to the 300 Club. Again, I'm Nikki Renfroe, the Georgia State Patrol Troop C Commander. I have the privilege of working with just awesome men and women of the Georgia State Patrol every day. But I tell you what, on incidents like what we saw with the bridge burning and the bridge collapse, there is no way possible, guys, that we could do this job without each other. We got a whole lot of first responders in the room, law enforcement, fire, etc. We need each other. We don't have enough resources, right, individually. So when it comes to events like what we saw, to everybody else, it was a big deal. And yeah, it was a big deal to those who were there, but guess what? It's what we do. And so, yeah, it's what we do. Go ahead and clap it up for that. When I made the decision over 20-some odd years ago to be in law enforcement, you know what? I made the right decision. For many of us, you hear it said all the time that it's a calling on our life. And I think it is. So we're used to running to situations and not away from them. And that's what we're going to continue to do, right? We work well together. I see everybody I know in this room, right? So we're among friends here, and we help each other out when we can. Most importantly, we do this work for you, for the citizens, specifically the citizens of the state of Georgia. And so again, on behalf of the Georgia State Patrol and Colonel Mark McDonough, our commissioner, thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Major Adam Lee III with the City of Atlanta Police Department. And the captain just basically stole all my thunder. She said everything I was going to say, so thank you. Like she said, it's an honor and a pleasure to be a member of the Atlanta Police Department. I've been all over the country, literally, and I've met men and women from almost every major agency in this country, And I can truly say that the Atlanta Police Department is a beacon amongst all police departments in the country. So I think we need to give the Atlanta Police Department a hand. As far as this incident is concerned, it pretty much devastated part of our community. Safety was first. That was our first concern, making sure that there were no lives lost. After that, we started to have to deal with just having officers being able to respond to calls in that area. That was a challenge for us because that was a throughfare or a fare, whatever you call it. But it was a way to get from point A to point B. And so that was a challenge for the officers in Zone 2 because we knew it was going to slow down our ability to respond to calls. So we had to also devise a plan for that, for the time that bridge was going to be out of service and that area was not going to be available for us to get from point A to point B. So we wanted to make sure that citizens in those areas still maintain the level of service that they expected from us. So I'm glad that we were able to accomplish that. And again, I'd like to thank you all for coming here. Thank you for honoring the Atlanta Police Department and honoring our Chief Erica Shields. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. Would the members from the Atlanta Fire and Rescue Department, active and retired, please stand? I'm Deputy Chief Randall Slaughter, and I am extremely honored and humbled to accept this award from the 300 Club. Not only on behalf of our Fire Chief Joel G. Baker and the 1,100 men and women of the Atlanta Fire and Rescue Department, but also on behalf of the city as a whole, because see, it really was truly a team effort that day. Our public safety partners in the room, the Atlanta Police Department, the Office of Emergency Management, as well as the Department of Corrections, really came through for the Atlanta Fire and Rescue Department that day. I'll go a step further and acknowledge all of our mutual aid partners in the room. Chief Fulham, I see you here. Would you please stand? Chief Fulham is the chief of DeKalb County. We had mutual aid support from 6 jurisdictions in the metro area that came into the city to cover the city while we managed this incident. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the businesses, the restaurants that provided food and water to the responders as we managed the incident. A lot of things went well that day, thank God. But the reality is, a lot of things could have gone terribly wrong. We had firefighters right underneath that bridge, literally seconds before it collapsed. So I cannot say enough about the bravery and courage of the men and women that responded to the call on that day. Nor can I say enough about the knowledge, the skills, and the foresight of those incident commanders that pull those men and women out when something just didn't feel right. I have seen some estimates that the monetary loss associated with this incident is north of $40 million. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, no amount of money would have equaled the loss of one firefighter that day. So as I prepare to take my seat, on behalf of all the men and women who contributed to the successful mitigation of this incident in any way, thank you, 300 Club, for this award.